had to bring you back because
Yeah.
it's game week. You guys got a huge game against them Raging Cajuns. You playing up.
Yeah.
As a coach, because I'm gonna start this thing off, and we gonna hit you with these questions, Mickey. As a coach, coming back after a 2-year out for 2 years, coming back, this being your first game coaching, head coaching, what is on your mind? What are you thinking going into this game?
Well, right now, we thinking that we know we overmatched scholarship wise, with them having 85 on it and us having 63. But we got to make sure we don't create our own mistakes. We can't allow them to make us have mistakes. So we gotta be sound in all three phases of the game. And on offense, we talk to the offensive staff and the quarterback about patience with every call. And we need every offensive drive to end in a kick, either extra point, a field goal, or punt. We can't have turnovers, and we understand that. And we gotta play strong defense because they want to run the ball. They want to go in 12 personnel and they want to bloody your nose. So we got to be able to line up and play run blocks. And it's hard these days because most of these kids want to be pass rushers, but we got to play some run blocks and we got to have gap integrity with our linebackers and our D line. And then when our safeties fit, they got to come to knock blood out. Because that's how we got to be more physical than them, and that's physicalities in our DNA. We're gonna be physical, we know that, but we got to play solid football in all three phases.
Mick, another question I got for you is, I looked at this Raging Cajun football team. They're supposed to have a pretty good 2 bookends that get up the doggone football field. How do you combat a team with 2 guys that can get up the field, make guys stretch your lanes as far as your tackles, maybe further than they want to go? What do you call to combat that?
Well, you got to figure out what we're going to push the protection, who we're going to push the protection to, and we're going to have to keep them in check and know where they're at all times because they like to move those 2 guys around. They're really really good players, and they have the ones that transfer. Ashley Williams, a transfer from Arizona State. And then the other kid, he's on the Senior Bowl watch list. He's a pretty good player. So we gotta know where they're at all times and where we're gonna push the protection, and we got to do some quick game stuff and get the ball out of our hand. But also we got to challenge them in the run game and see if they want to take on the run blocks.
Mick, give me your starters at quarterback, running back, receiver.
Well, right now Miles Crawley's gonna start at quarterback, and Aston Fry and Del J. Bailey, we'll know tomorrow who's going to be the backup. They both had pretty good weeks. So after today, we'll know because they still in competition for the backup. And as far as running backs, we just depends what personnel we start in. So we don't know who's really going to start at the receiver also because we got personnels. We're going to have to use a lot of kids for this game because, we're outmatched. We outmatched. So we got to use our depth right away and see if anybody, see if we can shorten the game. But we're going to use our depth. So we're excited how Jacoby Bellazar came along as a receiver, and I think he's having a really good camp. But Bull Hargrove, the kid we got from Mississippi State, and Trey Bradford, the kid at running back, the kid that started with me at LSU, graduated from North Texas, and now he's here. But we got some kids in the building that that we think can play, but we know we playing up, and we know it's a challenge.
Mick, what my gear at, Mick?
Oh man, I gotta talk to my my equipment guy. I'm gonna take care of you, but we don't mail gear at Grambling. We gotta give it to you in your hand. So you gotta come to the G, baby.
Hey, mom and dad, man, are they gonna be at this first game?
Mom got in town last night because my younger brother Sammy coaches at ULM and they play Jackson State. So mom got in town last night. Zach and Brooke will get in town on Friday. Tomorrow.
How many family you got to come to kick this historic thing off for you, man? You got your first head coaching job.
Yeah.
Grambling, where y'all playing at?
At ULM. In Lafayette.
How many they got in the stadium?
Well, right now they're doing construction with their stadium, so I think they're only going to have maybe about 15 to 20,000. Usually it holds about 40, but they're doing construction, so it doesn't matter. Like I was telling the kids yesterday, it can be 2 people in the stands, it can be in their backyard. Really doesn't matter. We got to show up and play football. We're gonna take care of the family stuff today, but once we get on that bus tomorrow and head down that way, everything, we're gonna have to block out this noise and we're gonna have to go to work.
Yeah, I really don't have no question for Mickey because I know what type of coach he is, and I know he's gonna have his kids ready, and because he's a stable person. I mean, if you've been around Mickey, football is business to him. You could tell when he was at Nebraska, when he had the head coaching job up here for a second, how much he stayed in the office. How much he commanded, study time for himself. So I know he got himself ready. He got his team ready. You're you're really playing a team out of your league, but you still want to go down there and play your best and try to get the upset.
Absolutely. You want to go in there. You want to give yourself a chance. Like I said before, you can't give yourself a chance if you're turning the ball over. And like you said, we got to end every offense possession with a kick. Talk to them. We got to be patient. We got to take what they give us. But you know what? At the end of the day, we always say this: they put their things on like us, and we're familiar with each other because these kids played against each other in high school, and or they were on the same high school team. So it's not going to be an intimidation factor on either side because it's Louisiana kids, and I always say Louisiana kids. I know, Terrell, you're going to say a little different. They built different, they built different, and it's a reason that everybody comes down here like Georgia and Alabama to recruit because down south, these kids are built different. I mean, if you look at it, they pound for pound, they in this region now there's a lot of good high school football, and that's so these kids are familiar with one another.
With being in the 2 different, tiers, if you will, how do you get your men up for this game?
Oh no, that's just as the stop sign 1. So the most important thing on Saturday is this game. So I don't have to get them up for it, because they know it's get your money, go make your money on Saturday. We go tell the truth Monday, then we go competition Tuesday, we go takeaway, no turnover Wednesday. Today is no repeat Thursday, focus Friday, and Saturday's get your money because now everything's in the bank. Now go get your money out the bank, but it's what you deposit during the week that how much you're gonna be able to pull out. So we got to go. We got to be millionaires, but we cash money over here. We straight New Orleans, so we gonna do it. We gonna have fun doing it. And that's one thing I enjoy about this group. It's a bunch of transfers, but I take my hat off to my coaches and my support staff and my administration, about helping me with these kids and getting these kids, the Grambling way, because, these kids come from Power 5, Group of 5, now they FCS. So now things are done a little different. So now we always say down here, the down south saying you got to get it out the mud, but we love each other. We're going to play for each other. We have a great time. Grambling's a prestige universities, a national brand. And you say Grambling, everybody know, you're talking about Doug Williams, Shaq Harris, and what Coach Robinson did. If Coach Robinson wouldn't have did what he did, a lot of people wouldn't be here today coaching. So everybody know what it's going to be like, and everybody knows that we're going to have confidence because we are Grambling.
Let me switch gears real quick, Mickey, before we throw it to break. So here in Nebraska, I don't know if you would say it's a running back controversy, but you have 4 guys with oars on their name. And I guess my question to you as a head coach is, how do you juggle that room? Is there enough balls to go around? And can you do it with 4? Is it easier with 2?
Well, I did the same thing. I have a lot of oars on my 2 deep because kids they neck and neck. And I think you can do it with 4. It did, it's a rotation. And my coaches will give me their rotation Saturday morning when we meet. They'll tell me how they're going to play kids. And my rule is that, is when you play backups. Do you have all backups in at the same time? But I think you can do it 4 in the running back room because I think it is enough balls to go around now. One might get 8 carries, one might get 12 carries. But my thing to my team, and I get them all the time, I say, who wants to start? And they all raise their hand. And I tell them, you know what? I'm going to put you in for 1 play, and I'm going to take you out because you told me you just want to start. you got to want to help contribute to help us win the game. So if that means you play one play or 25 plays, you can't say I just want to start. That's one play. So I think if you can get them to buy into the rotation, you won't have any trouble. But we big on body language around here. And if we get bad body language, we attack it right away. But understand this, we don't attack people, we attack problems. Bad body language really irks my nerves. And you give me that more than once now, you're going to stand by me, because I'm not going to allow you to be out there, because that means you're selfish and it's about you. That's not happening over here at Grambling. I'm not.
Bach, you want to jump in there, Bach, before we take it to break and shoot with a question for Mickey?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to ask you about Trey Bradford. I know you mentioned him. Nebraska's dealing with something similar, where there's a kid joining the team just days ahead of the game. I know you mentioned that you had a connection with him back at LSU. How first, I mean, there's a few things that go into that. Like, how does that kind of come along this late in the process, I guess? And is he going to be able to integrate, be able to get, playing time, fight for playing time right away at running back?
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the transfer portal, you got to really run your team like an NFL team. So you're going to have some late guys coming in late. Trey got here. It's 2 weeks before kickoff. Well, my running back coach, that's his job to get him ready. I don't want to hear that he's not ready, because it's either L or R, right or left. It's either 5-man protection, 6-man protection, or 7-man protection. It's you got to be a teacher now. You got to be a really good teacher in college football, because you're going to get these kids that's been on a third school, so they're going to be in a fourth system when they get to you. So you got to be a teacher. So my running back coach, Coach Kelly, he understands that this kid needs to be ready, and the offensive coordinator, Coach Dooley, understands that also. This kid needs to be ready, and he will be.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's play the music, because I want to, Mick. And give me hold on a second, Mick. When you give me some of that atomic dog coming back in, if you can, Bach, I gotta see if Mickey can still move. I just want to.
No, I'm old.
I know, but see, but you can still move your shoulders a little bit. You ain't that old. You ain't that old. You still can throw the ball. Why is Terrell looking at me? What are you looking at me like that for? What do you want? What is wrong with him, Mickey? I'm sick of this dude. You need to get some divine intervention. We need to bring him to Louisiana.
Y'all got a love-hate relationship.
Man.
It's that hat, Mickey. It's that hat. I'm telling you.
He just turned me that.
Hey, I'm telling you now, Reggie Cooper would have never let me wear that hat. Roger Thomas would have been all over me.
Brad, you said Brad would have been on me?
Oh, yeah. They wouldn't have let you wear it. They would have took it off your head.
The Terrell, hey, listen. What are you saying to your team on a Thursday, 2 days, a day and a wake up before the game?
Well, first, it's this, like I said, it's no repeat Thursday, so we won't repeat any plays. The reason we won't repeat it, because I'll go back and watch the film after practice today, and I'll have the script, and I'll say, okay, we busted this, we busted that, we busted that. Then I'll go to my coaches tomorrow morning and say, okay, how many reps on Aratone stick dragging did we get? And if they say, hey, we got 14 reps of it this week, I like it. But if they say a shock choice and we only got one and we blew it, then I'm going to take it off the call sheet. So if Rollins, the D coordinator, has stud green and if they blew a coverage, they got to tell me that we repped it enough. They feel good about it to keep it on the call sheet. Same thing with AA. Does Rocket work? Did we bust anything? So I'm looking for bust today. So that's all. I'll be charting bust. What we bust, and then also, with the kids, I want the kids to have confidence. So we always script for success today. Don't throw them in a situation, any unscouted looks on Thursday, because don't make up unscouted looks. It's an unscouted look because you hadn't seen it. You probably seen it in your past, but you hadn't seen it on film from them. So don't show them anything that they hadn't seen on film, and then you make the adjustment because you're gonna make them panic. And I don't want them to panic. But tonight also, these the legs that you're gonna play, and I got this from Coach Osborne. Every Thursday, you play on Thursday legs on Saturday morning. So get rest. We'll be in the whirlpool tonight. We'll do some recovery stuff to get our legs back. We'll scrape our hamstrings. We'll do a lot of stuff like that after practice today. And then we'll get IVs on Saturday morning, just to make sure, especially the guys that's cramp or sweat a lot, we have to do IVs on Saturday mornings to get them going. So it's a lot of business stuff going on today, but it's about getting in practice, no repeat, and then after me looking at making sure the things that we bust, how many times you repped it, and then the kids will be body recovery after practice. So it's a big day for them.
Coach, one more question for me, and then Terrell's got one. Do you script the first series, or is it straight? You go off of what you feel.
Well, we always have openers. We always have openers. It depends where we're at on the field. But we're always going to have openers, especially from the minus 25 if he fair catches something like that. So we have openers. So we do script our openers. We do that.
All right, Coach. Coin toss, Coach. You win the coin toss.
Defer.
How did you find? Okay, you want to send the defense out
Defer.
There. So you going defense first?
Defer.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you make that determination? Who goes out there first? I know you say defense this time, but what about the next game? It might be the offense. Do you flip flop, or you just
if we're playing a high tempo team and they scoring a lot of points and we think we need to take a possession away from them, we'll take the ball first to try to go up on them. So, but 99% of the times I'm going to defer and I'm going to put the defense out there first and let them get after it. Because remember now, they're going out there, they're going to react to some stuff that, they're going to play with a whole bunch of energy. Because by that time, your offense got to be calm because we got to do a lot of processing.
You good?
Yeah, Mickey, I was going to ask you too. This. I know a lot of people want to know, like, what's your record prediction? How do you think your team looks and all that? How much do you learn about that after week one? I mean, I would assume as a coach, you learn, you have an idea, but you really learn a lot after week one what your team looks like. But particularly playing up a level like you are, is it going to be is week one where you learn most from your team or who your team is?
Yeah, I think week one then is the biggest jump from week one to week two. So we'll learn a lot about them today. We'll learn a lot about them for the structure of the game, who was able to play with the pressure on them. So we'll learn a lot about them. Even if we're playing up, it's still to give us, because at the end of the day, they're a group of five and we have the same type of kids. We got a group of five kids, that transfer. Now, my job is to get them to play because the reason that they were here as a group of five kid, because they really didn't play where they came from. So some of these kids who transfer, this is going to be their first game. Ever playing, a full 60-minute game that they're involved in the game plan, because they don't transfer you sometimes because they played a lot to my level. It's because they didn't play and they're trying to find playing time. So yes, I'll find out a lot. So when we're going to look from week one to week two, that should be a big jump.
You go
ahead. Okay. So now, Mick, I want to talk a little bit of Nebraska football just because, with you being an alum, I think it's always good to keep you in the loop a little bit. Nebraska takes on UTEP, and then I'm going to get back to you, but Nebraska takes on UTEP. If Nebraska has turned the corner as a team, what should that game look like?
Well, I'm sure they keeping Raiola, keep him upright, because he's an excellent quarterback. What I think I liked about that kid was able to process fast. And he was able to figure things out quick, in his drop. So, and he's got a really talented arm, but his makeup, his toughness and his confidence as a quarterback, it goes a long way. So I think they got a really good trigger man. Now it's going to be about protecting him, because when you do have a rookie quarterback, he's going to see some looks and like I said before, some unscouted stuff that he's going to have to process. But the kid processes well. The only kid outside of him that I thought processes better was Mac Jones, the kid that was Alabama. I'm really good friends with that kid, but he processes really well. And I think if you can get that run game going, they'll be okay. But I'm excited to see the defense, because the defense will return a lot of kids. But I think they did a great job last year. But if they can get that offense going, this thing will turn around. So I look for them to beat UTEP handily. To get after UTEP, because they hungry. Rue's in his second season. Rue's going to do a good job. Usually he might struggle at first year, but after that he usually gets the ball rolling. So this is year to get it rolling. So I can see them handily beating that team. But it's UTEP, and they're going to come to play because they're playing up. They're a group of 5 and they're playing a Power 5 team. So they're playing up. So kids, when they get in that situation, they're always excited until they start getting hit in the mouth. And then they're like, okay, let's look forward to next week.
When you are, and that's exactly why I asked you about that, because you both teams, UTEP against Nebraska, you guys going against the Raging Cajuns, are big time underdogs. And I was telling Terrell and Bach, when you let a big time underdog hang around in the fourth quarter, what does that look like? What's the mentality of the team?
Well, I think that's our goal, is to get it to the fourth quarter, because I think once we get it to the fourth quarter and it's a tight game, I think now they're going to play tight. They're going to be panicking over there when we're going to be playing with a lot of confidence, because you let us hang around, you let us get it to the fourth quarter. So your kids is going to tighten up a little bit, and those coaches are going to tighten up a little bit. But we're going to be loose. We have a environment over here where everybody tells the truth, and we love each other. We're going to play for the next man, and we coach for the next man. And they say that you can't get a transfer kid, you can't get them to buy in. We got them to buy in over here. Like I said, just my support staff and my coaches, my administration, helping with these kids. And, it's everybody's pulling on the same side of the rope here at Grambling, and that's the only way you can win a national championship is to do that. Same thing was at LSU. Everybody was pulling on the same side of the rope. So we got we had the best college team in college football. I know the 94, 95, y'all say that, but I keep telling y'all wouldn't have been to cover us.
Yeah, but y'all wouldn't have been. We'd have hit y'all in the mouth, though, Mick.
No.
Yeah, we hit in the mouth.
No. See,
y'all wasn't hitting back like that.
Oh, yes, we was.
No, y'all wasn't laying licks like that, Mick. Now, come on, Mick.
Hey, listen. Hey, ask Clemson. Ask Alabama.
Those were shootouts.
I know, but shoot, that's the SEC. That's big boy football.
You see this hat I got on, don't you? You see this hat?
I love that hat. That hat. Go Big Red, baby.
Throw it up.
Stop playing.
Throw it up. See that? Throw it up on Mick. Throw it up on his black shirt right quick. We got Mickey Joseph streaming in straight from the ice box. I say it's the ice box where he's at right now because it's the ice. Hey, is it Mickey? Is it cold in there?
Yes.
What's the temperature before Terrell asked you this crazy question?
Thought about 68.
What kickoff? What's the temperature going to be?
I don't know.
Muggy?
It's supposed to be rainy, huh? It's supposed to be a little rain.
We've been hot up here, man. It's been
100. No, you talking about kickoff tomorrow? Yes.
Yeah.
His office is 68, but kickoff it should be in the 90s.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. See, it's 90s for kickoff, but in the office it's cold.
Oh man.
I call it the ice box because you see it's white in there like an ice box. It's like little cubes and stuff. Go ahead, though. Ask Mickey a question.
Oh, me and Mickey already talked about it. I said, Mickey, I said, next year, the first game, I said, I want to get a couple of plays in. I'm about to give up a couple, come down there and train with the team for that big one next year that y'all play the first game. But, hey, I wish you luck this season, man, and I'm proud of you. And, hey, I'm going to vote for you every game we put on our parlay sheet up here, man.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'll see you in Ohio State next year.
Since you didn't want to ask the question, I'll ask the question. Mickey, you guys are scheduled to go to Ohio State, okay? Which, listen, there's teams that are in Power Fives that's scared to go to Ohio State, let alone go there in the opening few games of the year. I don't even know what question I want to ask. Is how do you prepare for that? How do you, I know that's a stepping stone game. I know that's a game that because Grambling is an institution that always needs more money in order to get better facilities, to get out of that ice box. So why would you play Ohio State and how do you prepare for that? And I know I'm pushing the ball forward, but I just want to know that.
Well, it's always a money game. So it's a big time money game. And like you say, we need the finance help. We need the help with it. So, but how you prepare for it, just like you prepare the other, team, you try to keep it simple. You try to play fast, and you try to turn it into a 7-on-7 game. You try to butter up the head coach in pregame and say, "Hey, Dave, why don't you just throw that ball around today and turn it into a 7-on-7?" I call it team pass. Turn it into a team pass. But like our kids gonna be excited when that rolls around. And, like I said, they They won't be intimidated, because they don't seen it before. Some of these kids have been here that's transferred. They played the LSU, they played the Auburns, so they won't be big eyed when they go up in there, and they're gonna have the same attitude that their leader have. That we got to go in here, we got to shoot our shot. We get one shot. When you play games like that, you always got to stress to your team, just like we going this weekend. It's never a 3-game series. It's a one game. It's one shot, and that's it. After 60 minutes, it's over. It's not that I got to go back and play them in 2 days. So, you got to go in there. You got to compete like we say we're going to do it.
Now, the next $1 million question I got for you is, will we ever see Grambling State Tigers come to the University of Nebraska to face these Dylan Raiola-led Matt Rule football team? I think that would be historic, being that we used to have the Eddie Robinson Classic at Nebraska.
Uh-huh.
I think that would be historic. I mean, if Ohio State is willing to bring you guys, it seems to me that we should be willing to not only help you guys out, but because that helps you on a national level, right?
Yes,
not necessarily to get those guys that compete, those 5 stars, but those 3 stars that maybe think, I'm going to still be on TV. I'll get a chance to play on some national TV games. But you ever think Nebraska will be on that schedule?
Well, you always look for games like that. You always look for people, the people who have the money, who can pay the money, But like I said, I'm not moving this team unless it's seven figures. I'm not moving this team to go play a Power 5 for 300, 400,000. It's got to be a comma, 2 commas in that number before I move them. But you would hope so that you can bring it, because it'd be good. It'd be good for my kids, because some of them don't even know Nebraska's at on the map. They're like, Nebraska, where's that at? Like north. So, but you know what? We're excited about this week. We ready to get after today and get better today and see what it looks like tonight with the film, and get back on it in the morning and get out of here tomorrow afternoon, and go shoot our shot.
Well, Mickey, I noticed today you've got the red shirt on. I see a little bit more red in the cap too. Grambling State, I traditionally think of the gold and the black. Has that been something that they're pushing more recently? I know I've seen it on the uniform.
Yeah, they had red when Coach Robinson was here. It's just a slight red. Some alumni don't like it, some alumni do. So you got to pick and choose. What you wear around here, because it's such a traditional school, something like Nebraska. And I'm sure when they had those black uniforms on for the first time, people really didn't like them. But it's 2024. Everybody's got different color uniforms, so I understand tradition, but tradition is what wins with me.
How much do you get to like decide what goes into the uniforms? I know I saw that Grambling State already released their uniforms, the plan for every week. Again, it's maybe something that's not more so important, but like you said, to the kids, they kind of like that stuff. And I know you guys even have a full red uniform that some of the recruits been wearing.
Well, where we wear, George Stubbs picks a uniform. So if he picks red or black, George Stubbs picking my football operation equipment guy. He picks it.
Tell George
in here, that's why I'm giving him a hard time.
Hey, tell George. Hey, George, I know you hear me, George. I'm coming, George. Now have my stuff together. Have my stuff.
I forgot my other t-shirt.
Yeah, I need that black and red, that GSU black and red now.
I ain't got the other t-shirt.
You got to show up to participate.
No, you said you brought me one back.
I gave it to you. You left it here.
You never gave it to me.
Well,
that was a big.
We got to check the schedule and get with Mickey. Mickey, I just want to tell you, man.
I'm going by myself.
That's all right. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. I know the lay of the land.
Yeah, good.
So just calm down, Mickey. I want to just tell you, I appreciate you, man, for always coming on our show and supporting us, man. I don't wish nothing but Godspeed for you and the football team. And I think you got an opportunity to pull off the unthinkable. Nobody's talking about you guys. Why? Nobody is talking. Do you know that I've met a couple of people that did not even know, and they're in sports, that you was at Grambling State?
Yeah, that's good. I'm good.
They don't see you coming.
Yeah. Hey, Grambling State football versus everybody, baby. That's how we looking at it.
You done? You good?
I'm good.
Okay, Mick, we ain't gonna fight.
You in bad shape, Mick.
Is Steve coming on next? Is Steve up next?
No.
Oh, dang.
I know Steve up there. Hey, in bad shape. All right, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Hey, good luck this week, man. Tell them Big Red, go get it, go make it happen.
All right, man. We hey, look at that Tesla truck. I'm all jacked up, Mickey Joseph, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Mick. We'll talk to you after the game. Go get the dub, man. If not, make sure they know who they fought.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys, man. Much love. Holler at y'all.